Dandelyin. So this is your first Swan Day, right?
Yeah, it's my first Swan Day. I was connected to Jennifer Hill through another female musician who's played Swan Day maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Her name is I Am Snow Angel. And her and I think another swan this year, her name is Danny. I think on Instagram she goes by Danny Music, but her and Snow Angel followed me on Instagram like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they've just kind of like said hi here and there, which was nice. And then I finally met Snow Angel and had lunch with her in the city one day, and she told me about Swan Day, and I had met her right after the Swan Day last year, so she was like, they already did it, but you should contact her. So, I followed their social media, and I reached out, and Jennifer Hill also has purple hair, as do I. So
depends on what day you catch her.
Yeah, right?
It changes.
Well, recently she's only been purple.
Yes.
But, yeah, she's been very sweet and very helpful.
Good. Mama Swan is amazing.
She's got some fire.
She is on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even do an intro. Dandelyin has lived quite a few lives before arriving back in her home state of Connecticut, where she has been regrowing roots and passions in music. As a singer, songwriter, and co-producer, her original work always remains in the realm of indie pop with lyrical influences from artists like Damien Rice, Lana Del Rey, Incubus, and Amy Winehouse. Unrequited love, kinships, and money inspire her poetry and music, as well as traveling through Europe, where language and the mysteries of the medieval history continue to color her imagination. Tell me more about traveling through Europe, and how do you get inspired there?
Well, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity in college. I went to Western Connecticut State University as a theater major. And the reason I went to college was mostly because I wanted to study abroad. And I wanted to go somewhere. I originally wanted to go to Spain. And I went to, my school didn't have a connection with like an entertainment program over there. So I decided to go somewhere where there wasn't a language barrier. So I went to Northern Ireland. And I lived in Derry for like 6 months.
Wow.
And it was... it opened up my world. Like, I had never traveled out of the United States before, and I was like, what am I doing in just one place in the world? So I saw a lot of, like, the UK, and I saw some of Germany and East France. My roommates were from Alsace, so I spent, like, the month of December in Alsace with them, which was, like, unbelievably amazing. The amount of cheese I ate was ridiculous. And wine.
Of course. It's part of the diet there.
Of course. And so when I graduated college, I thought, well, when am I going to ever get back there and live as they did over there? I kind of liked their mentality, and hospitality was different over there. And so I saved for a few years, and not this past summer, but the summer of 2017, I spent 2 months in Spain and traveling Spain and learning Spanish, which I'm still rusty on. And I spent the last month in Greece and in Holland.
Wow.
And I just love medieval history, so to be able to go see these places that have so much history was really special. And a big reason why I love medieval history is reading what people wrote were our human mistakes for so long, and it's written in books, these mistakes that we've all made, and still we make the same mistakes, but in different times. So I think it's really interesting to go back and see what we've done and then what we're doing now.
In many ways, things haven't changed over the past 1,000 years, right?
Right.
People get into relationships, they don't know how to get out, or they end up straying off to someone else.
Right.
That's nothing new.
Yeah, and there's still, and I love like haunted history too. Like I stayed in a castle in Scotland that I didn't have any haunted experiences. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm one of those people that senses, like, has a sixth sense, like, for paranormal, but I wish I did.
Could be
but
a ghost chaser.
Right, like I just am not. But I stayed in a castle there where you can sense that there's a different feeling in the air. But I tried to visit places that had some interesting history, like the Castle of Edinburgh, and I visited, a bunch of places in London that have really rich history, like the Tower of London and.
Do you get into modern shows like Game of Thrones, and then
of course,
with all the castles there, and then you actually go over to Europe where they have castles?
Yeah, I've also been to Iceland, and I went on the Game of Thrones tour there because I just wanted to see the locations that they filmed because they were unbelievable. They looked fake.
Did you see the big wall, the big ice wall?
I didn't see that, but I think that might be like CGI, unfortunately. I don't want to ruin
You ruined
that
it for me.
But I also could be wrong, but they didn't take us to something like that. But, I mean, I saw places that it's just the way the lava has, like, formed that it's very specific to Iceland. Wow. So anytime Game of Thrones came on and I would see that kind of ground, I'd be like, they're in Iceland in the sea.
That looks familiar.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I want to hear a song. I've been listening to your music today, getting ready for this show, and beautiful music.
Thank you.
I want to hear it. I want to hear something live.
Thank you.
And you brought your ukulele.
I did. The first song I'm going to play, it's off my EP, and my EP is called Gold Plated, and I recorded at Factory Underground Studios in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I also have a music video for my acoustic ukulele version. It's on YouTube as well.
I was watching. I love how you have a lot of notes that you take down about each song that you wrote and what it meant to you.
Right, yeah. On my website, Dandelyin.com, and that's spelled Dandelyin. I have a blog that I write and kind of go into intricate detail about my songs, and it's a vulnerable place because you don't want to name drop anybody, and you don't want to, like, hurt anybody's feelings. You kind of want to remain diplomatic when you're explaining your music.
Yeah.
So this song is called Wildfire. Up to you, oh, you love a crazy baby. I try to hum a tune, oh, it's all about how but I love you you've since turned into ash, 'cause I love you, and I don't have a clue as to why you still love me. I fight and fly, but I just can't deny that I love you, and I'd still walk the darkness with you. Thank you.
Man, I just love hearing that live. It was awesome on the internet and on YouTube. But wow, so much more powerful live. And the first time I heard it, I thought, oh, this is such a beautiful, simple, romantic, heartwarming song. And then I read your little blog on it, and it's a little different. A little twist on it, right?
Well, as I said in my blog, I was kind of in a relationship where I didn't know if the person was really the person I wanted to be with, and it was kind of a love song, or it was a song about being unsure disguised as a love song. So when I sang it for him, he just thought it was like the sweetest thing in the world, but I kind of felt like a little bit of a sociopath about it because I knew what it was about.
Guys don't listen to lyrics that much, though.
Right, but I mean, in the third verse, you can kind of sense that there's an uncertainty, like my confusions and my delusions that you've since turned into ash. I kind of always knew what the song was about, and I wanted people to be able to hear it in both ways. So that's kind of why I kept it. And there's another version where the ending is a little bit more sad and dramatic, but I kept it this way because I liked it this way more.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So was it kind of unrequited love, where you just weren't feeling it for him, but he was totally into you?
Yeah, I mean, we were together for a while. I think it was like one of those things where I started out with it, and I thought that this was really it, and one day well, not one day, I think it was gradually over some time that I just realized this wasn't the life I wanted to continue with. So, it was a slow decline for that. But you know when you're not feeling happy and you
Right.
have to move. You
And you shouldn't stick around just for the sake of sticking around.
Yeah.
You gotta do what's best for you.
Yeah, I didn't want to stick around just for somebody else's well-being. Just to be with my own well-being too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How long have you been performing now and playing music?
I've been writing music since I was maybe 14 or 15, and I've only really been playing around little places in Connecticut, and I played a little bit when I was in Spain, like just in the public, in the Plaza Mayor in Salamanca, which was like, I would play there every night if I could. But I played at the Delancey in New York City. I recently played at Toad's Place in New Haven in the Lily's Pad. And I play more kind of coffee houses around Lower Fairfield County right now. So I was really excited to launch into Swan Day. So it felt like the right place to go.
This is the place to go for people to notice you. Maybe there'll become record producers there.
Right.
Who knows?
Meeting Factory Underground in Norwalk has been like a tremendous help. They're literally underground. It's right behind the Wall Street Theater, which used to be the Globe Theater back in the 90s and 80s, and they revived it. I think Factory Underground in Norwalk, the city of Norwalk, revived it, and now it's this beautiful theater again. And the Wall Street Theater has like so many different things going on, but every year they have Connecticut's Got Talent, and somebody wins it. The first year, this woman, Ricky Stevens, who was supposed to be in Swan Day, but I think she dropped out for I don't know what reasons right now, but she's a really talented singer-songwriter from Norwalk, Connecticut as well, but she won the first Connecticut's Got Talent. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so there's a lot going on down in Norwalk that nobody is really hearing about. The factory is kind of the heart of it.
I know another swan that's in that area.
Which one?
Canyon.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
She's amazing. I hope she shows up. I know she's not performing at this one, but hopefully she'll show up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her since she had a
I'm
child.
open to meeting any and all swans.
Oh, that's the great thing about swans, and I hear from all the performers, is a great way to connect with other women and collaborate. I often see, like a month or two after Swan Day, I see a couple of them teaming up doing a video on YouTube or something.
It was really interesting going to just the photo shoot, because it's, you know, people think about women being like catty and unsupportive of each other, especially in this music business. And I'm sure there's entertainment business, and I'm sure there's immense competition and immense aggression towards each other in a different realm. But I don't live on that plane. Like it was really cool to find a place where it's really women that are supporting women, and there's no strange,
no
aggressive
backstabbing
vibes, and it doesn't matter what color, what size, what background, what your music is like, or what your designs are like. We're just kind of there to know each other, to know what's in our area, and I thought that was so cool, and I knew I had to be a part of it.
That was a beautiful shoot. The colored smoke and all the different costumes.
Jennifer Hill has quite a brain in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
she
grows purple hair.
Absolutely. And she goes to steampunk events.
Yeah. I actually, I met her, I met her through Instagram, but when I first wanted to go actually meet her in person, she was playing at the Rough Draft in Hamden, which is next to the Space Ballroom, and she was playing with Lainey and the Wildfire, who has been a swan in the past, and I don't think she is going to be one this year.
No.
But she's super cool.
She is.
And
She came down here last year.
Really talented.
Yeah.
And that Virginia was there. And I've met her at Virginia a few times, and she's a cool cat, too.
She is awesome.
Yeah. So, like, going to this photo shoot where everybody was just there to, like, really be in support of their craft and their music was I felt like I walked into the right kind of place.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a great experience for you, and everybody going to see Swan is going to have an amazing experience. Let's do another song.
Sure. This song is called Ice Cream and Memes.
Ooh.
And I originally wrote it on ukulele, but on my EP it's a little bit more kitschyed up. It's a little bit more cheeky. And we're making a music video of it come May, and you're all invited to come. It's going to be... We need extras for it. I'm holding an event at House of Katya in Norwalk. She's a brilliant stylist and jewelry designer, and she offered her boutique to film a music video, and we're going to have an ice cream social where we're all dressed up as like 50s cocktail. So you're all welcome to come and be part of it. So that's going to be the first. Norwalk has an event called First Friday. So it's the first Friday of May at House of Katya, 5 p.m. I will be there. It will be kitschy, and you should be too.
I'm having a good time making a video.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
All right, so this is Ice Cream and Memes. What if I don't care? Might have been the summer air. I know I'll survive, but I never promised I'd thrive. I may have tripped and fell, and you've got a ways to go. Oh, to accept those feelings you know. And by the time you wake up, you'll remember it like a dream. And we'll be living different lives, just communicating through memes. Zwip-a-doo-da, doo-doo-doo, ke-doo-pa-poo-dee-da-doo-da-doo-wee. Zwip-a-da-ba-doo-da, communicating through memes. I know it all too well. Love's a game and love is hell. I see a bit of me in you, and you're scared to face the truth. The truth is I'm a mess. I'd rather not have you in my dress.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
I heard that song, and I was thinking, whoa. Two things that I often bring a smile to my face: ice cream and memes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But tell me more about the inspiration. It's not so sweet and syrupy, is it?
No, not much of my stuff is. But it was more of a touch upon our time, like how if we're falling off with somebody, like if somebody moves away, and you might have been really good friends, you might have been really close, just distance will tear you apart. And back in, maybe 30, 40 years ago, you'd have to write letters to somebody, and I'm sure it was way easier to fall off with somebody back then. But now, it's so apparent when somebody really, might not have the time, because they're, everybody has lives and they work, and but the last kind of communication that we have is like sending each other memes. At least for me, that I experienced that for like 4 or 5 years, like after college, where like people moved to California, people moved to Europe or South America that I knew, and the only communication we had was just like this funny meme. But we never talked or updated each other on our lives. But I guess it's like a way of saying, like, I still care about you and I still think about you, but it's just part of our generation, I guess. And
is that millennial?
yeah, definitely. And the song is about an experience that I had with that, where I had made this friend and we kind of were communicating through memes, and then I had met somebody exactly like that person, and then they were moving away, and I was like, I feel like this is maybe history repeating itself.
Huh.
So yes, I do like history, and I like things about our time and before our time as well. So it was that's kind of what it was about.
I wonder how they would have handled this back in the medieval days before they had memes. Or maybe they did, on posters or something.
I said to Jennifer Hill one day, and this is kind of really funny, especially since we're in Connecticut and very close to like Boston and Salem, but I was like, I bet if this was 1692, we'd all be hanged. Like,
Ooh.
I didn't mean to say that like that, but it's just, I'm just kidding.
As a witch?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they just didn't, I've read a lot about like Salem witch trials, and it was mostly about women speaking out when they shouldn't have been.
Exactly. They weren't witches.
Or what they said that they shouldn't have been, but, it was a different time of
They were
Protestants
speaking their minds like they
or
should have,
Puritans.
and they got...
Yeah, but we're so lucky now to be able to speak out and have a place.
Still not quite there, though, is it?
It's not, but this is way better than 1692.
I think so.
guess.
Yeah. Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
I mean, we get a day where we support each other, and
A
people
day, a
want to
whole
come.
day.
Yeah, we get a day, and we get to show our talents. And technically, I think March is International Women's
Yes.
is it the month or is there
The
one
month.
day? Yeah.
I think yesterday may have been the day, but
Yeah.
also the whole month. That's why all the Swan events are pretty much in March.
Yeah, which is really amazing. I think it's quite a feat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we need to bring more people on to celebrate.
Yeah. And
support.
Swan Day is in so many different places.
Yeah, it's international.
Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
in Kenya, and Jennifer Hill said she just recently went to Milwaukee or,
Oh, wow.
or somewhere in Wisconsin to meet up with a bunch of the other Mama Swans. I
Cool.
guess. Yeah.
I saw something on her Facebook page.
Mhm.
It looked like she was at a convention.
Yeah.
A Swan convention. It's
Yeah.
cool.
The flock.
So, is unrequited love a common thread in some of your songs?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my Spotify, like the bio kind of talks about how I wrote a lot of my music during my quarter life crisis. But you know, there's so many things to be like, you know, down about with that time in my life. But like I said, I come from a family where you know, we turn trash into treasures, and you have to turn what you have into art, I think.
And you
It's
learning
really
from those
important.
experiences and
Of course.
growing from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, I guess we're not gonna play it today, but my song, My Ghost, is definitely my song that's mostly about the real experience I had with unrequited love. And I have, like, my studio's like, we love this one, this is the one that we want to make a video for, we want to go all out with this song, and I'm so detached from the time, but I'm sure anybody who's a songwriter will say that this is a segment of my diary or my inner thoughts.
It seemed
well.
like when you were talking about all the other songs, they all kind of referenced Ghost. So I figured that was
Yeah.
probably the core of you, and understanding you is
Right.
to listen and to hear Ghost.
Right, and like I said before, I don't have a sixth sense for like the ethereal ghosts of, like, you know, ghost stories and stuff, but I think that people can also be ghosts too, like their memory or their I mean, like I said, this person who I wrote Ghost about was also like a core part of the rest of the music, like memes, like this person moved away, like Girls Like Me is kind of in connection with memes as well. It was just a certain time in my life where I wrote these songs, but now I have so much new music, and
hopefully many years to come of more music.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just a growing process. Live and learn.
The background or the setting of the video you did for Wildfire, was that like your backyard?
I actually superpowers. Are these moments really ours? Can't find another reason not to go and dictate all the things that I don't know. And if I managed happily alone, often lights are shone upon a darkless road. I'm dancing in towers with limited hours. find another reason not to show. Can't find another reason not to go.
Wow, amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow, Dandelyin. So, I was gonna say I was expecting one of the songs I really loved listening to was Gold Plated. Seems like such a feel good mellow song. I can just picture myself chilling out on a sunny Sunday afternoon in a place like that backyard where you were filming the other video.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that song. Is there a theme to that one?
This song is honestly, I think it's a fear that most singers and songwriters, whether you're a male or a female, feeling like you're running out of time, like with your, like the anticipation of your things being released and it not catching on, or some things catching on. I think it's mostly about feeling like you have limited time to do it, or like maybe you're getting older and it might not happen, or something like that. It was a moment in my brain where I felt like I had to get it out.
Yeah, and definitely don't hold it in.
Yeah,
you get to enjoy it when you let it out.
Yeah, and I kind of wrote it at the place that I live in because she has this kind of antique house, and where I live has all these slanted walls, so I feel like I'm in a little tower, which is really nice. But I thought that it was like, I felt, like I knew it was like a limited time, that I'm not going to be here for, like, in that tower forever, so it's like I'm dancing in towers for limited hours, like,
wow.
And it just kind of coincided with my feeling about working in music and making this a career and stuff.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How about Gold Plated, though? And what inspired you for that song?
Gold Plated, I grew up in Darien, Connecticut, which is, if you ever read about it, it's kind of a more affluent town outside of New York City.
Yep.
My experience was a little different because I wasn't as affluent as the rest of the town, and even though you went to the same schools and had the same education and lived a street over from somebody else, people were very cold. Like, for me, like, I got dropped off at school in a 1988 Buick that had no muffler, but
not a Mercedes.
Yeah, like it, and like people got like a Mercedes for their 16th birthday. I didn't even get like a car. Like my parents were like, if you want a car, you gotta buy it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like everybody else in the world. It's just growing up in a bubble like that where you're young and you're like, but why don't I get this?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to grow out of that when you see how the rest of the world is really not like that. So I think growing up in a place like that helped and hurt me in so many different ways, because I have a great education and I grew up in a safe town and I have a great family. So I shouldn't really ask for more.
Those are the important things,
Yeah, those are the very important things. But growing up being like an outcast in a town like that is rough. Like for instance, I was like the girl in high school that wore like tutus and cowboy boots and dyed my hair pink, and everybody else wore the same like polos and khakis, and they thought I was weird. And I'm like, but you're all dressed the same, so you're the weird one.
Exactly. Were there other students that you made friends with that were like you?
Yeah,
not
definitely.
Part of the affluent crowd?
No, but you could definitely tell that it felt like there was a little bit of like a caste system. I don't want to go too aggressive in how I say that, but there was definitely a separation. Like people knew what people's place was just in Darien Public High School. And I don't think that. I mean, I guess you're kids, but I don't think that should have been highlighted as much as it was.
Right. Sounds like a good song in the making.
Yeah. Well, Gold Plated was kind of about that. It was just kind of about being surrounded by all of this wondering why you didn't have it, and then kind of growing up and figuring out that it's not as perfect as they want you to think it is. There's a lot going on behind those big, beautiful doors that you don't know.
Sound like for a young woman, it sounds like you are very mature inside, and you've experienced a lot in the world, and
I've been very lucky to
Yeah.
be able to. I know that. So that's why I say, like, growing up in a town like that has had its advantages and disadvantages. Yeah.
What's next? Where are you going to go? You're going to go back to Europe and
I think
team up with that Virginia, go to like South America, go to Brazil.
I would love to.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I'm excited that Swan Day has this like international community, because I definitely would love to meet some of the swans in other places. I definitely want to have another EP come out. I'm working a little bit more on my production skills, and some of my more recent music is a little bit more electronic. So I'll be playing more of that at Swan Day. I not only just play ukulele, but I'm right now taking piano lessons finally.
Cool.
And I play a lot with my launch pad that I connect to my laptop.
Oh, wow.
And just use some playback tracks for playing piano and ukulele as well. So there's going to be a little bit of a growth in my sound, hopefully. And I would love to travel. Like, I'll never not love to travel. I think maybe on the horizon I would maybe like to relocate to California, where it's always warm, because it's too cold here. It's just too cold for me, I think.
It's a little chilly.
but
Today was beautiful.
It's going to take some planning and vigor to get out to California.
You've got many years ahead of you, and I
course.
wish only the best for you.
Thank you.
Dandelyin, thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Can't wait to see you at Swan Day.
I can't wait to see you either.
Do you know if you're going to be at the Rotunda or the main stage?
I'm in the Rotunda. I'm at 8:40.
Oh, cool.
On the Rotunda.
I'll definitely
stage.
have enough time to get down there to see you. I don't know about Hannah.
Yeah.
I might not be able to see Hannah.
And I'll also be selling my bracelets that I make.
Oh, yeah, tell me about... I just walked in as you were going over that.
The person who repairs the guitars at Factory Underground, the studio that I work with, his name is Cliff, and he's the nicest gentleman in the world, and he has a little kind of hole-in-the-wall office, and I'm also like an artist. Like, I paint, and I love jewelry design, and I do makeup artist. I'm a trained makeup artist as well. And he gave me just like a bucket of guitar strings, because I told him I was doing this painting of this mermaid. And I want hair, like guitar string hair.
Ah.
But then I thought to myself, like, some of the thicker ones I don't really want to use as the hair. So I started making these bracelets where when you put them into like a circular shape, they stay that way. They don't bend, and they don't like kind of break. They're pretty sturdy. And I just put like beads and suede rope and gold wire, and they're all unique. Each one of them is unique, and they're all really stackable, friendly, and they're normally like $20 each, but at Swan Day they will be $10 each, and 2 for $15.
That's awesome.
So please come visit my...
They're more beautiful than Alex Anani bracelets, I think.
Yeah, these are like the music version of them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
these are
And it's
the Dandelyin.
recycling. It's good for the environment, good for the world.
These are the Dandelyin ones, and I also have an Etsy shop. It's etsy.com/shop/Dandelyin Roots.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
but
you can also get a link through your website?
Yes, and on my Instagram. My Instagram is Dandelyin Music, and that's spelled DANDELYIN Music.
Awesome. Dandelyin, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you so much for having me.